Hello everyone, welcome to my vlog on the topic of industrialization and globalization on ethical and sustainable business practices of India and the United States of America. Industrialization and globalization have brought unprecedented growth and prosperity to the world, but they have also come with their own set of challenges. In this vlog, we will explore the impact of industrialization on global climate change and compare the policies and practices being followed by India and the USA with regard to the elements of ethics and sustainability. So let's discuss the examination of industrialization and its impact on global climate change as a whole of these two countries. Industrialization has led to the growth of economies, but it has also come with a high cost to the environment. The rapid increase in the consumption of fossil fuels has resulted in a significant rise in greenhouse gas emissions, leading to global climate change. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, better known as the IPCC, the world is already experiencing the impacts of climate change in the form of rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and the loss of biodiversity. The industrialization process has been much more rapid in the USA compared to India. The USA has been the world's largest emitter of greenhouse gases historically. Even today, the per capita carbon emissions of the US are still higher than that of India. The rapid industrialization of the USA has come at a great cost to the environment. The US Environmental Protection Agency, better known as the EPA, has reported that the country's gas emissions has increased by 3.4% in 2018, reversing a trend of declining emissions over the previous decade. India, on the other hand, has had a slower pace of industrialization due to the country's relatively recent independence from colonial rule. However, the country has made great strides in economic development in recent decades. As the country has grown, it has also increased its carbon footprint. The government of India has acknowledged the challenge of global climate change and launched various initiatives to address the issue. The National Action Plan on Climate Change, launched in 2008, was the first step towards a low carbon future. The plan included measures such as increasing the share of renewable energy in the country's energy mix and improving the efficiency of power generation. Now we'll discuss the critical comparisons of policies and practices being followed by India and USA. The USA has a strong legal framework of environmental protection, including the Clean Air Act and Clean Water Act, which regulate emissions of pollutants from industrial facilities. The USA has also implemented the Paris Agreement, which aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius before pre-industrial levels. That means the levels before the Industrial Revolution. However, the USA's withdrawal from the agreement has raised concerns about its commitment to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. India has also taken steps to address climate change, such as increasing the share of renewable energy in its energy mix and launching the National Action Plan on Climate Change. However, India faces significant challenges in implementing its policies due to the country's economic and social realities. India has a large population and is still dependent on fossil fuels for their livelihood, and there are concerns about the economic impact of transition to a low carbon economy. In terms of ethical and sustainable business practices, both India and USA have made progress in recent years. However, the two countries have taken different approaches. The USA has seen an increase in the number of companies adopting sustainable practices, such as reducing waste as well as emissions. The Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, better known as the SASB, has developed industry-specific standards for companies to disclose their sustainability performance. However, there is still a long way to go. In a 2019 study by the National Research Defense Council, the USA's large companies rank poorly in terms of their sustainability practices. India has also seen an increase in sustainable practices, but the focus has been more on social responsibility. In recent years, Indian companies have taken steps to improve working conditions, promote diversity and inclusion, as well as reduce the environmental impact. The Confederation of Indian Industry, the CII, has launched the Indian Green Building Council to promote green building practices in the country. The council has set a target of constructing 10 billion square feet of green building space in India by 2022. Now we'll discuss the key takeaways, my personal recommendations, and the conclusion of this vlog. To conclude, industrialization and globalization have brought great benefits to the world, but they have also come with their own set of challenges, especially when it comes to environmental and sustainability. The United States of America and India, as two major players in the global economy, have a responsibility to address these challenges and promote ethical and sustainable business practices. Based on our examination of the policies and practices being followed by the two countries, it is clear that both have made progress in addressing the challenge of global climate change. However, there is still much work to be done. The USA in particular needs to do more to reduce its carbon emissions and show its commitment to the Paris Agreement. India, on the other hand, needs to balance the economic needs of its population with the need to transition to a low carbon economy. In terms of ethical and sustainable business practices, both India and USA have made progress, but there is still a long way to go. Companies in both countries need to adopt more sustainable practices, reduce waste, emissions, and promote social responsibility. The governments can also play a role in promoting sustainability by providing incentives for companies to adopt green practices, invest in renewable energy, and regulating emissions from industrial facilities. It is clear that industrialization and globalization have had a significant impact on the world, both positive and negative. The challenge now is to ensure that economic growth is sustainable and does not come at a high cost to the environment. India and the USA, as two major players in the global economy, have a responsibility to lead the way in promoting ethical and sustainable business practices. By working together and sharing the best practices, we can create a more sustainable future for all. Thank you.